Today we are exploring a really fascinating theological text. We've got this devotional called Rhapsody of Realities by Pastor Chris.
We're digging into something quite specific.
Dominion over adversity.
It just jumps right in.
It really does. It kicks off with this really provocative statement from Proverbs. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small.
Yeah, which immediately sounds, that sets an incredibly high bar, almost an impossible one.
Exactly. But the devotional's whole mission seems to be to just flip that on its head.
It does. The text insists that a believer isn't just supposed to get through things. You're meant to actually win, to reign over the storm.
Okay, so how? Because that's a huge claim. The core idea seems to be that the strength isn't, yours to begin with.
Right. That's the foundational insight. It's not something you have to generate yourself.
It's a total bypass of self-reliance then. So how does the source establish that power transfer?
It points you immediately to Scripture. It cites 2 Samuel, the Lord himself is your strength. God is my strength and power.
So the premise is your supply is basically infinite because the source is divine.
Precisely. And to make sure there's absolutely no confusion about human effort, it really leans into this concept of divine sufficiency.
Sufficiency. That's one of those big theological terms. The source uses 2 Corinthians here, saying our ability and sufficiency are from God, not from ourselves. Why is that distinction so critical for the text's argument?
Well, because if your strength depends on you, on your mood, your effort, how you feel that day, it's going to fluctuate.
Of course.
By establishing sufficiency as coming completely and totally from God, the text makes the authority absolute. It's non-negotiable. It's this pre-existing capability that's there no matter what.
That makes a lot of sense. So if sufficiency defines what you can do, the next logical question is, who are you? Where does it go from there?
Exactly. It pivots directly to identity. The devotional brings up 1 John 4.4. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world.
So it establishes the believer as being of God.
Yes, and that identity becomes the active ingredient for having this dominion it talks about.
That identity claim, it sounds less like quiet, passive faith and more like a kind of spiritual bravado.
It is. The text even uses the phrase divine audacity.
Divine audacity. I like that. So if this power is just there, what does the believer have to do to access it? Is it passive?
Not at all, actually. The mechanism, the key, is to stay conscious of that identity. It's an active state of mind.
A mental reset, almost.
Yeah, you could say that. It's supposed to remove the guilt from your past and the fear of what's coming. That's what lets you walk right over them.
And this is where the language gets so intense. The claim that believers can consume challenges like bread. What does a metaphor like that even imply? It's so counterintuitive.
It's a complete reframing of adversity, isn't it?
That really is.
Challenges stop being these tests you have to endure or battles you just hope to survive. They actually become sustenance, fuel, something you use up. That shift from enduring to consuming is the absolute core of the message.
Wow. Okay, so that audacious power leads to a massive scope of authority. The text promises the ability to tread upon serpents and scorpions and overall the power of the enemy. And it says, nothing shall by any means hurt you. But what about, when it looks like you're failing, when things go wrong?
The text implies that any apparent failure is a failure of confidence, not a failure of your actual capability. If you truly have dominion over sickness, demons, even death itself, then the application has to be confident.
So the final instruction is about how you act on it.
Yes, it's critical. You have to pray and speak with this authority. You have to exude that confidence in your daily life.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? I think the key takeaway here is this direct line the source draws, a line between a specific spiritual identity being of God and these very practical, real-world results, this idea of absolute dominion.
Right. And maybe here's a final thought to chew on. If your strength is defined by its source, by God's sufficiency, what common modern challenges, things like paralyzing anxiety or just that feeling of information overload, what would it look like to consume them like breads, to use them as fuel instead of just trying to battle them in the usual way?
That difference between endurance and consumption. Yeah, that is something really worth exploring, a profound point to end on.
That's your call to action. You can find more information on this source material, The Rhapsody of Realities by Pastor Chris, on their website, www.rhapsodyofrealities.org.
We'll catch you next time.
We trust you were blessed by this episode. To gain unlimited access to Rhapsody of Realities by Pastor Chris, please download the Rhapsody app using the link myapp.rhapsodyofrealities.org. God bless you.